One of the things that I love about this Beat Diabetes YouTube channel is the fact that I get international testimonies, not only testimonies from Americans, which I'm very grateful for, but from all over the world. And I just thought I'd share a couple of them quickly with you and then get on with a couple of other comments. This individual says, thank you for your emails and for inspiring me to beat diabetes. So they're obviously on one of the challenges or have been. And he says, my A1C is now 5.5, whereas previously my postprandial meter readings were in the 200s. So significant progress. Thank you again from Manila, Philippines. Well, I have been to Manila. I've flown into Manila and done ministry in the Philippines. So great to hear from one of our Filipino followers of Beat Diabetes. Here's another one. Hi, Den and Miss Ben. It's unbelievable. I can skip breakfast and have lunch without any worries. Thanks to you guys for all the good work, for giving people hope that you can live a healthy life with diabetes. Or I would say by beating diabetes. He says, I've been diagnosed with type 2 for 5 years. My life has been a living hell. Since I started my keto lifestyle, I have seen my numbers go down and the rolls of fat around my stomach are disappearing. Wow, it is unbelievable. I'm going to the doctor next week. I cannot wait for his reaction. To God be the glory. I'll keep you posted. And in his signing of his comment, he says, all the way from South Africa. Well, South Africa is a long ways from Texas, where I record these videos. And yeah, I've been to South Africa as well and did some meetings there. One of the things I'm keenly aware of is the fact that they cannot always get the foods that I talk about and that I eat and use in my means of beating diabetes, but they find a way. They can't always get all the foods, but they get the principle, and that's the key thing. If you get the principle that you've got to cut down on your carbs, you'll find some ways to do it if you're really motivated, and that's exactly what happens. And I try to give a tip of the hat to some of the people from other places and let them know, yeah, you can beat it. You may not live in Texas. You may not be an American. You may not be able to get psyllium husk or almond flour, but you can beat it. Where there's a will, there's a way. So thank God for these individuals. All right, here is a comment. Maybe from an American, I don't know, but this person says, I'm 29. Wow, that is young to be dealing with diabetes. I was overweight, flabby, etc. I was on the precipice of diabetes. Okay, so on the precipice. I cut out refined carbs and sugar, lost weight. All my numbers are down now. Let me repeat, all my numbers are down. Blood pressure, normal. Cholesterol, normal. A1C, normal. Fasting glucose, normal. Triglycerides were always normal, even when I was overweight. My fatty liver is gone, and boy, that's a big hallelujah. My fatty liver is gone. Sometimes I eat high refined carbs to see just what this does to my blood sugar. I barely go over 125. I don't, however, eat this way on most days, just occasionally. So they're saying, yeah, I can even get away with eating some high-carb meals once in a while. Well, part of that probably has the fact that you've lost your weight and you're still in your 20s, upper 20, 29. But you can get away with that more and probably see a greater victory in that area than you can if you're 68, 75 years old, 82, whatever. So yeah, when you're young and you knock that thing back and you reverse diabetes and reverse and lose weight, it's amazing what you can see and the victory that will be a part of your life. And that's the smartest thing to do. So much smarter to do it at 29 than at 69. But whatever your age, you can still do it. When they're talking about how everything is normal, blood pressure, normal, triglycerides, fasting glucose, A1C, cholesterol, everything is normal. Fatty liver is gone. I'm looking at all this and I'm saying, who are these people who say that a low-carb diet or a keto diet or a slash-the-carbs diet is dangerous? Does that sound dangerous to you when everything goes to normal? Doesn't sound very dangerous to me at all. And they're just thrilled by what they have seen. And when you can eat a high-carb meal or a relatively high-carb meal and you don't even go hardly beyond the 120s, you've seen some kind of significant progress. As he said, I don't do this very often, and no, I would not recommend it. But pretty cool that he can do that. Here's another individual. Dennis, I enjoy your show very much. It's been a tremendous help to me. I discovered my A1C had reached 9.2, very serious diabetes, 9.2. Through dietary adjustment and exercise, I was able to lower my A1C to 5.7 in 3 months, incredibly fast, 9.2 to 5.7 in 3 months. I recently attempted intermittent fasting, 1 meal a day. I woke up one morning, I was dizzy, lightheaded, and I vomited. My glucose had dropped to LO, according to my glucometer. I'm not on insulin or any diabetes medication. My request is that you warn people who are doing intermittent fasting or fully fasting to take their blood sugar readings frequently to see that they're not becoming hypoglycemic. Well, I can say amen to that, and I have been there. And I've never taken diabetes meds. I've never taken any insulin. And yet I've had natural hypos, and that's what this individual is saying. I had a natural hypo. He's cut the carbs. He's got his A1C down at a good range, but when he tried doing 1 meal a day, he was getting dizzy, and his glucose meter read low, which means probably under 50, probably maybe 40 or less, which is dangerously low. So yeah, you got to be careful. Now, most people will not have that issue if they're not taking any meds. If you're taking meds or insulin and then you cut the carbs, yeah, you got a good chance of having this happen, which is not a thing you want to happen at all. So you got to be careful. And that's why you need to work this out hand in hand with your doctor and make sure you're not taking too many meds or too much insulin while you're cutting those carbs, or you will get these hypos. And hypos are nothing to fool with. What is a hypo? Hypo is when your blood sugar goes way too low, not just slightly low, not just 78, but way too low. When it starts reading LO on your meter, you know you are seriously low to the point where you could go into a coma, to the point where you could even die. So yeah, you got to be careful. But most cases, if you're not taking any meds or any insulin, that will not be an issue, but in some cases it will. It was for me. It was for this individual, so just be aware of that. And one of my greatest fears when I realized my blood sugar was going too high and then too low and I was having hypos was that I'd never be able to fast again. And in those days, I wasn't concerned about fasting to beat diabetes. I just wanted to be able to spiritually fast and have some time with the Lord and pray and read the Word and not eat. And that was a common practice for me. And so when I realized I was having these hypos, I thought, man, I'll never be able to fast the rest of my life. But guess what? Once I stabilized my blood sugar and everything got stable, and it takes a while. This guy has only been doing the low-carb thing and dropping his A1C for 3 months. And a lot of times when you're doing things in a hurry, things get kind of shook up and things don't work quite so well as when you've been doing it for a while. But I've been doing this low-carb thing for like 20 plus years, and I can fast as long as I want. Now, I rarely fast more than 36 hours, but I do not see any seriously low blood sugar. The lowest I ever get, it would be in around 70 or so, I guess. But I feel perfectly fine, and as soon as I eat it, it starts moving up. All right, here's an individual who says, thanks for doing this. One thing I noticed years ago with pasta is that the effects lasted longer than with other carbs. Even at 3 or 4 hours, it either wasn't coming down or sometimes it was still drifting up. So that's a really bad thing about pasta. Yeah, they're right. Pasta is going to take much longer to bring you to your glucose peak than a piece of white bread. White bread is fluffy and soft and dissolves, bam, like that. Pasta does not. It's hard and skinny, and it is going to take a while to dissolve. And there are some things that are like that. Beans would be another thing. So if you say, well, I want to hit my peak, I want to find out how high my blood sugar is rising at its very peak level, it's going to be different for pasta than it is to be than it will be for a piece of white bread. And the same thing is true with beans. So not only do people have different times when they normally peak in their glucose levels, but foods will affect you. And nuts are a very slow dissolver, so you may need to check 2-3 hours after eating a bunch of nuts. Of course, I don't recommend anybody eat a lot of nuts, although sometimes I am guilty, because they have a lot of calories and they'll help you put on a lot of weight. And they're not really a high-carb food, but if you eat enough of them, it can add up and it can prolong that rise in glucose for some time because they do dissolve so slowly. So be careful about that and be wise to know which foods will cause you to peak sooner and which ones will cause you to peak later, and adjust your glucose meter readings and tests accordingly. All right, well, that's it for now. I hope you enjoyed this, and if so, give it a thumbs up. Be sure and subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's called Beat Diabetes, and if you subscribe and click on that bell icon, then you will start getting notified when we post new videos. You don't have to miss any, which I think could be a good thing for you. God bless. See you again soon. I want to announce an exciting new format that will be added to my Bible teaching channel, which goes by my name, Dennis Pollock. Most of my uploads have been on Mondays, where I post videos that I call Video Devos. These are short talks that focus on one particular Bible topic. And I'll continue to post these Video Devos on Mondays, but now I'm adding a new type of video that will be posted on Thursdays. These will involve Bible studies that Benedict and I will do at our dining room table. We'll be going through various books or sections of the Bible in a relatively short, easy-to-digest, user-friendly format. So catch the Video Devos on Mondays and the Bible studies with Ben and me on Thursdays. I believe you'll be blessed.